Today I'm going to talk to you about the absolute worst way that you can solve PMP questions. Now, everybody talks about the best way to solve questions, but I think a lot of times it's a little bit better to talk about the bad patterns that I see that are destroying your and many other people's chances at actually getting PMP questions right. So, what is the worst way? Well, I'm going to give you a technique to be able to pick it up in yourself, okay? So what I want you to do, or what I want you to think about, is when you solve questions, do you, first rule, do you run through all the answers, boom, 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 real quickly? Now, ask yourself honestly, do you do that, right? Do you go through A, I gotta look at B, I gotta look at C, I gotta look at D, I gotta look at E, I gotta look at F, I gotta make sure I look at all of them in rapid pace? Do you do that? Well, that's an indication that you gotta say that, like, well, I am making a drastic mistake in how I'm looking at questions. So the first thing is in going through really fast. Now, if you can identify that pattern, you can say, hey, I might have a problem here. Because let me tell you, you have a problem there in how you solve questions. The second thing, and the most important thing, is when you were to talk through the question answers in your own brain or outside to someone, you'd say, yeah, that answer could, maybe that could be the right answer. That's a possibility. Hold on, let me look at the other one, and I'll tell you if I like A. Now, if you ask yourself honestly, is that what's happening in your brain? You're going to A and you're like, yeah, maybe, it could be the right answer. Probably, but I'm not totally sure until I look at the other ones. Now, you got to ask yourself honestly, is that what's happening in your brain? When you go through all of them, you're hunting and pecking and searching quickly to try to look through the answers. It's well-intentioned, I got it, but in reality, you don't feel confident about any of them until you've looked at all of them. Is that true? Is that what you're doing? Are you running through question answers really, really quickly? And then if you had to validate why you liked A or B, you'd be like, I kind of maybe sometimes like it, like maybe, I don't know, but really, Scott, I'm not really willing to bet on it because I got to go look at the other ones. Now, if that feels anything like the way you're solving problems, then you're doing it wrong. And your methodology that you're following right now is leading you to miss questions. Now, let me talk about why. Now, a lot of you out there are married. A lot of you out there are dating. A lot of you out there, have a partner in whatever form, like that you think a lot of. Now, let me ask you, if you walked into the bar, the restaurant, the social gathering, the bookstore, however you met your significant other. Now, if you walked up to him, think back to that day, and you walked up to him and you said, man, I really like what you got going on. You're very attractive. I like the way you're talking. You're very interested in stuff. Like, I think you're really special. I like you. Not to get too sappy or weird, but would you at that point go, you know what? All those things that you're putting across are really great, but you know what? I can't make a decision yet till I walk completely around this entire room, look everybody top to toe, head to tail, or feet. I'm gonna be careful when I use that word. Like head to toe, talk to them, walk to them, like all those things. Is that what you did to choose boyfriend, girlfriend, mate, whatever you want to call it, partner? Is that the way you did it? No. You looked at that person dead in the eyes and you understood what value they provided in a really good way, like what they're all about. Like you're like, wow, I really respect you. I really think that you have a really good head on your shoulders. You're got something going in your life. Like you're attractive. Like all these other things that you look for in a person, you found in them by looking at them, not in comparing them to the room. Because I hate to tell you this, like, there's always someone smarter. There's always someone better looking. There's always someone that you perceive to be better in a sense. But in reality, it's what works for you in this situation and what matches with you. Isn't that right? Like we are ducks trying to pair up for life, right? I don't want to say anything like socially, but like that's what we're trying to do here. So the point that I'm trying to make through that example is we're not trying to compare our significant others with the entire room. It only matters the connection that you have between them. So by you running through the questions, answers, and not giving them their good due, like you're dating at a cursory level. And you're not going to be able to understand the value that the question provides. And you're really not going to be able to make a sound judgment if that question is good or bad for the situation. So stop doing that. So what we need to do is look at each answer on its own merits, like the rest of them didn't exist. And you know where it starts? Starts with knowing more about the question. Starts with knowing what the problem is, what the crack in the driveway is up above. Like, what are we solving for? Because each one of these answers might be good on their own. They might solve a problem in real life, but do they solve the problem that you need to solve here? That is not an understated point. Does it solve the problem that we have up above? And the only way that we can understand that is by reframing it up above and then looking at each of them, taking time to understand what they're delivering, what solution they're solving. And so when someone says, I kind of like it, it might be an answer, maybe, but hold on, I'm going to hold it and I'm going to go look at other ones. What I hear is that this person, first of all, probably can't slow down. That's a fixable problem. Just slow down. I just slowed my voice down. Slow down. But more importantly, the problem that they have is that they don't feel confident enough to expound on why they like it or don't, and they don't really understand the concepts below. Now, knowing oneself and knowing one's limitations is the first point of progress. That's how we get better, okay? No different in these questions. They're a microcosm, a Rorschach test for life. And so if you think that the PMP is trying to trick you, you're wrong. If you think that you can't evaluate these questions on their own merits, you're wrong. You can look at A and you could say, that's pretty darn a good approach for evaluating and solving the problem up above for these functional reasons. But you know what? There's one specific thing inside that question that doesn't sit right with me. And you know why? It's because it violates how we handle change, or it violates that we're not going to update the documents, or it's not going to be as inclusive as a solution as I would like. I'd like to be more team building in this example. And so what you're doing is you're going deeper to look that question, that answer, that person in the eye and really understand where they're coming from and what they're delivering. Not giving you dating advice. I'm giving you advice on how to solve hard questions. So think what happens. Instead of running through, what do you do when you run through? What do you do at the bottom? Do you have the answer there? Does the slot machine ding, 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 hit, all sevens and, money comes out the bottom? No. You're like, just spent all this time rushing. Clock is running in your mind. Now you start double super speed, running in through the questions again. Read it again. Start from the beginning. Read it again. Read it again. Read it again. If you find yourself reading again, you're not spending the time on what matters. So what I'm saying, that the worst way to solve a problem is that hunting and pecking, trying to move fast to go fast. Slow down. Look a person in the eye. Listen to what they're saying. Listen to what the answer's saying. Understand it and ask yourself, why does this solve it or not solve it? If you don't know, eureka. We can learn from that point. Let me understand why or why not that is the right answer. That's all we do on the coaching calls, is me slowing people down and go, whoa. Do you like A or B? Do you like A? Not A or B. Do you like A and why? That's all I do. It's a little bit more complex than that, but we make it look easy, and I'm making you talk through it. You need to do that with yourself. Now, let's talk about the objections. You might say, but Scott, isn't that going to slow me down? I can't spend all the time in the world to go through every answer because I only have 1:12. Yup, totally understand. But you know what? The more often that you do it in practice as a drill, the more qualified you're going to get to do it quicker, the better you're going to get at recognizing the factual patterns that are correct and incorrect through the questions, because you're going to let yourself find your limitations and weaknesses. Then you're going to study them. You're going to talk through it with people. You're going to work through it with me and the coaches and my materials and whatever. And then you're going to get better by doing that. So the better you get, it's just like tying your shoes. How long did it take you to learn to tie your shoes? I don't have a lot of memories from the past. Don't know why. But one of them is trying to tie your shoe. And it was hard. Now, I don't mean to brag, but I'm pretty good at tying my shoes, okay? And so right now, what we need to do is spend the time putting the loop around the bunny ears or whatever and tying our shoes methodically for each answer. And that's how we get better, because it's going to become muscle memory, where you're going to identify factual inaccuracies and patterns that work and don't work. You're going to know why, and you're going to have a good, strong base to build off of. So less and less rudimentary, less and less like mechanisms, more just flow state. So that when you get into the exam, this is just the way you solve problems. You evaluate the situation there. Now, that's going to help you pass. That's going to help you do better. And you know, the really cool thing, and I just know this from like personal experience, is that the more that I slow down and stop trying to be Johnny Fantastic Firefighter, the better that my project results get. Now, it's a struggle because I'm a human just like you. But the more we can slow down and say, what problem are we really dealing with here? What do we think the right response would be? Let's think through, does this solve it now or forever? If we look at those things and like, what factual patterns am I following? Is this a disciplined answer? Is this building the right perception? Is it building the right team? If we look through there in the PMP answers and in life, results tend to get better. Now, our short-term goal is PMP better, but our long-term goal is better project management. So, what have we learned? Now, my goal with this is to help you recognize that you are screwing it up for you. Saying it in a nice way. Your hastiness and pushing through it is hurting you. So let's stop doing it. Let's slow down. Let's spend time to understand and look in the eyes of the answers. Let's see if it solves the problem. Let's see where our weaknesses are. Let's leverage people to help us. And let's move through it. So a little tortoise and the hare game here, right? By slowing down, being methodical, we're going to allow ourselves to speed up. All right? We're going to allow ourselves to become better at solving questions. And heck, we're going to become a better project manager. So right now, I need you to take action. I need you to look at yourself. I need you to try to solve problems. You need to ask yourself, am I making the mistakes that Scott said? I'd bet that you are. Okay? If you're not, sweet. If you are, sweet. We can work through it. Then from that, follow the steps of slowing it. Analyze. What do I need in each question? Don't look at the other ones. Pretend like it's the only answer that's available in the world. Why do you like it or not like it? Why is it perfect or not perfect? That's how we learn. Then leverage help. I can help you. We don't have a lot of time. I can help you. We have coaches. We have all these things. So reach out to me. Say, Scott, let me help you. Or please help me, whatever. 757-759-5282. That is my literal phone number. Call, text, whatever. I'll answer. Email, scott@pmmasterprep.com, admin@pmmasterprep.com. The team will answer. Reach out to the website, apply for the accelerator. We'll help you out. There's a lot of different ways. Go listen to more podcast episodes. Go listen to YouTube. The world is full of answers. Stick here. We can help you out. So look at ourselves, know what we got going on, and we can get better. It won't take a long time. We can do this. See you later, alligator.